welcome into the studio this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, got a little closer to the microphone. Right, that's perfect. Yeah, and first of all, tell us a little bit about your cancer before we start with anything else.
I had ocular melanoma, which is really rare.
Yeah, that is.
Not a lot of kids get it.
Okay.
It's usually for elderly people who get it. But I had it when I was 14 in 2015, and I was diagnosed, and I went to Boston, and I had a surgery to put 4 little rings around my tumor, and then we waited a month.
So this is on the ocular nerve? Is that?
Yeah, it's close to it.
Wow. Okay.
And I remember I had to wait a few months, and then I went with my grandmother and my mom back down to Boston, and I had proton beam radiation for a week, and then that was it.
That sounds really sci-fi.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it present itself to you? Did you notice that your vision was getting blurry or what?
No, I went for a routine eye exam, and they were like, something's wrong with that, so we're going to send you to an ophthalmologist, and he sent me to Boston. So.
Wow, good for the folks doing the routine eye exam for picking up on that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you doing now?
Good.
And how's your vision?
It's gotten worse. It's gone mostly because of the surgeries and the radiation. It's
sure. In that eye.
Yeah. But luckily I've got really fantastic vision in my left eye, so
Excellent.
it kind of swaps over.
All right. So how old were you at this point?
I was 14 going on 15.
And then somebody at some point must have mentioned Camp TaKumta to you.
Yeah, I went because I didn't have an oncologist here because I had my ophthalmologist in Boston, and I didn't have to do chemo, so I didn't have one up here. So I went to go see my oncologist, and Heidi Johnson, was it Heidi?
Heidi, yeah,
Heidi. She came in before Dr. Homans, and she was really sweet and really nice, and then she was like, "Have you heard of Camp TaKumta?" And I didn't know what it was, and she told me about it, and she's like, "Yeah, you can come next year, if you want to go." So I graduated 8th grade, and that summer I went. So.
And how did you feel about that? Was that something you wanted to do or something you didn't want to do at that point?
It was weird because I didn't really know about camp, so I was kind of like, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? I really didn't know how I stood. So I remember my grandma asked me as we were packing, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know. And then I got on the bus, and when I actually got to camp, that's kind of when it hit me. So.
And when you say it hit you, how did it hit you?
I got that year was Disney themed, so everybody was in costume, and I'm like, what is going on? And everybody's dressed as Goofy and whatever, and I was like, this is crazy. And then by dinner that night, I settled in and everything was fine.
And you were ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite memory of camp at this point?
I don't know.
Is there an activity you love more than anything else, or?
Probably 9 Square, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you play that, what was that ball game that everybody was doing this summer?
Gaga Ball?
Yeah, Gaga Ball?
Yeah, that's fun, too.
Yeah, have a good time with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to do at camp.
Yeah.
You must be exhausted when it's all done.
Yes. I remember my first year, I, was talking throughout the car ride, and I slept for, 3 hours when I got home. And then it was, nighttime. I was like, what happened?
That's the story we hear over and over again. Yeah. What are your plans for the future?
Probably going to college and.
You have an idea what you'd like to do?
Something like a child life specialist.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, we need those. That's great. Fantastic. Now, your mom, Jodi's in the studio. Jodi, can you come on over here? Yeah. So tell us a little bit from a mom's perspective, what you think about the whole TaKumta story here.
TaKumta has been amazing for Morgan. 14 is tough, no matter what.
It is.
No matter what.
for any girl.
Absolutely.
Boys are stupid. They don't realize it's tough until they're through it. But
Exactly.
girls, they get it. Yeah.
And I remember seeing a video, because the wonderful thing about Camp TaKumTA is the last, when we pick up the campers, they have this beautiful slideshow,
Yeah.
and then they post videos for parents throughout the week. And I remember seeing her in a video as she's walking through the turnstiles to the Disney theme, and her shoulders were slumped, and she was looking very nervous.
Yeah.
And when we picked her up, she was a totally different kid. She had confidence. She felt like she belonged somewhere. And I cry every time I pick her up, because I feel like I wish she could stay here forever, where there's no negativity, where there's so much love, and that everybody shares a common bond, but nobody ever talks about
That part of it is so hard to explain to people who have not been part of the TaKumTA family. Is the common bond, that when everybody shares the common bond, you don't have to talk about it.
Absolutely.
And then the no negativity thing. It's I always tell people, if you could create a world that was perfect, that's what exists inside the gates of Camp TaKumTA.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always cry when I have to pick her up, because I wish she could stay there forever.
Yeah, and that's not just because of the way her bedroom looks.
Well, maybe a little bit.
I have 3 daughters. I get this. So
I know. Yeah.
all right. Well, it's been an honor to have her at camp and continue to be part of the camp story. That's the great thing about Camp TaKumTA.
She loves it. She calls it her second home.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, help send another camper like Morgan to Camp TaKumTA right now. Pick up your phone, 863-1051 or 1-800-501-9565. Jodi, while I got you here, have you done a Mom's Weekend?
I have.
And?
I sign up the minute it comes out every year.
Okay, talk a little bit about what you guys do, because, I'm a guy, and it's a secret.
It is a secret. Well, it's definitely aimed at pampering the mom. They cook for us.
Yep.
We have a spa day. You can choose whatever. People come in and volunteer to do massages and manicures, and it's just, we do have a round table type discussion, a fireside, where we do all talk about kind of where we're at with things. And you find out, like, okay, well, this mom has had, these challenges, to get through insurances, and just little bits and pieces of that. And it just gives you ideas, and it offers support, because we're all in different levels. Some people, moms that come, their child has just been diagnosed, or they're 14 years out, and you offer support.
And there's no two kinds of cancer
There's
that are the
not.
same. They're all treated differently, and there was a time where they would just blast you with one thing. And when we first got started with this, there was treatment day at the hospital, and all the families would be there together, and they would share this information while they were in the waiting room. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, everybody's very specific. Morgan, all of her treatment was out of state.
Right.
We didn't even know.
Because that's a very super rare cancer to
It
have.
is, yeah. Out of 1 million people, less than 1% in her age group get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
It's-
Well, I'm
it's the
glad
old-
this is what we mean when we say that the TaKumTA story, it treats the whole family.
It really does, yeah. Mother's Weekend is the best.
All right. And I'm glad to hear it's not just pampering.
No, it's not.
Because-
they do feed us, too.
Great.
Yes.
Hey, Morgan, where do you go to school? BFA St. Albans. I'm wearing my BFA St. Albans sweatshirt today. This is sports-themed day here at the radio station. You make sure Ellen knows that I'm wearing my BFA St.
Yeah,
Albans sweatshirt, because she got mad at me yesterday because I messed up the name of the school. Even though I knew what it was.
He called it
I
BFA
called it
Fairfax.
BFA Fairfax.
Oh,
instead.
I know, right? I
Not
can't.
that that's not a good school.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
What grade are you in?
11th.
11th grade, junior
Yep.
at BFA St. Albans.
Yep.
Well, anybody you want to give a shout-out to this morning?
Nope.
No.
I'm going to have to see them soon enough.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, guys.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
Thanks so much for coming in this
Thank you for
morning.
having us.
All right, it's cool to send a kid to camp to help send Morgan back to camp. She wants you to send her to camp right now, and you can do it just by picking up the phone 863-1051 or toll free from Vermont and New York 1-800-501-9400.